The content in this video was created for documentary and educational purposes only, so if you're not 18 or older, shut it off right now. And if we disappear, go to CannabisLifestyleTV.com. So you may have seen we've been checking out a lot of different big grows, at least decent sized grows here over in Michigan. Now when it comes down to growing, of course, we're a little biased. Being caregivers in Michigan, hating the MCMA, and really thinking that everybody who is able to should be able to grow. It's become kind of a thing for us that we realize that there's still a lot of really good grows out there. Whether it be commercial, corporate grows, or whatever, there is some really good ones out there left. So what we've been doing is checking out different grows. So this episode, CLtv goes to Franklin Fields in Lansing, Michigan. Let's go.
Like we always do about this time.
This episode is brought to you by IPVanish VPN. Online security made easy. Help secure your private information like your location, personal identity, browsing history, and whatever else you need when you're online, especially around those sus websites. Make sure you check out the link below in the description. Otherwise, go to ipvanish.com/CLtv.
Hey, Freddy Confetti, pop off!
Elevate.
Here today at Franklin Fields and the Botanical Company, but Franklin Fields here with, I almost said Master Gardener, almost did it to you, brother, but one of the dankest gardeners I've seen in these tours that we've been on, Matt Mooney. Appreciate you for hosting CL today in the tour, which I already been privy to, but the crew got to see today.
Never saw it before, it was the first time, so it was nice. I will say, man, hats off, like I've said 4 or 5 times now, of scaling the caregiver style. Like I see more of how you're growing is how like all of us grow. I'm like, holy shit, this is doable. It's an applicable thing, and it's not something that looks like you took a recipe from California or Colorado and just slapped it in here. You know, it's kind of like working with what you have at the same time keeping that natural home grower approach, just scaling it up. You know, so hats off to you, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So how long have you been doing it? I know you mentioned that you were a caregiver before this. How long have you been growing?
So I started caregiving in 2008 once the MMP passed, and I've been doing it since then. So started out in, like I said, DWC, a homemade system I built myself. Started designing grows and then helping other friends that wanted to get into the industry, and then kind of formulated into building out a 38,000 square foot facility. And along the way, a lot of learning curves that came my way, you know what I mean? That if we didn't fail, you never succeed, right? So I had a lot of failures along the way that made me learn different approaches and different ideas, and definitely a humbling experience growing weed for me, definitely over the years. So really enjoyed the whole entire experience of the process of learning as we go. So
nice, man. I see it within the approach of what you have here now. You were talking about how you guys kind of pivoted from doing DWC, because that's how you were growing for a while, to your approach now where it's more just like navigating through the system to make it work. Because you know that it's a business, but it's also a passion. You want to be able to grow the best flower, but you also have to have production right. You also have to have everything dialed in, and the team to be able to manage all of it. I see you got a pretty large sized team. When you started, who was it to get this going? Was it just you and a partner, like a crew?
So it started out with me and Russ and our head cultivation manager, Bridger Lau. We all started in the Caregiver Grow together. And like I said, we grew DWC because as a 72 plant model, you want to grow trees, right?
Yeah.
You want as much production as you can because you're limited to the amount of plants you can have. So we took that model, switched it to growing into soil, and then kind of transitioned into learning curves of what goes into growing in soil, what we needed. Started passing testing, like I said, back in 2018, and just figured that we could do it on a larger scale. Started doing our licensing in 2018, got our license in 2019, started building out the building, and opened. Our 1 year anniversary was just yesterday, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh, shit.
Of being open. So November.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. November 4th, we opened our door to employees. We hired 12 people off Indeed. Never met them before.
Holy crap.
Brought them into the facility, and me and Bridger worked with them for the first 3 months, just hands-on every day, teaching them every step we knew. As you know, going from a 72 plant grow where you can touch every plant every day to having 12 people touch your plants every day, it's kind of a scary situation to put yourself in because you don't know if they know enough.
You can't have 2 people touch your plants
Right.
at a time without it being a problem.
Yeah, so we definitely had a lot of learning curves, and we really hired great people. Out of those 12 people that we initially hired, we still have 8 on staff that are still here. So they've grown with us, and they've really enjoyed the experience, and they'll be celebrating their 1 year anniversary as well with us. So it was definitely a learning curve to teaching people and having them adapt to our model and having clear SOPs and expectations for what we wanted. And as we grew, we continually improved our processes and improved our SOPs and dialed in our employees to the point where we hire a new employee now. We're not doing the training no more. Our employees are actually training all the new employees on the techniques and structure. So it's nice where you're not having to walk through with them every day and be like, oh, is this done? Because it's already, it's being done. You know what I mean? Because they're on top of it. They're double checking each other and holding each other accountable, which is great to see growth in your team. You know what I mean?
So what is your growing style? You don't gotta give the secret sauce, obviously, but you said soil, so then you're using soil. What kind of lighting and what kind of nutrients?
So right now our growing style is Pro Mix HP Plus, you know what I mean? Mixed with a perlite mixture for drainage, and then we're running double-ended fixtures, high pressure sodiums in flower, and then checkerboard pattern in our veg and nursery stages, just for a full spectrum effect. Really, in this place, we built it on a tight budget, so we went with a lot of residential units for cooling and commercial for dehumidification, and we were really mainly focused on redundancy. So if one unit goes down, the room can still operate with 3 others, rather than having a whole room go down and not being able to get parts. As you'd all know, getting parts right now for anything is a nightmare due to the shipping and all the problems we've been having. So we're very thankful that we kind of pre-planned for that. It just happened to work out that way,
Even just growing culture, it's hard sometimes seasonally to
Oh
get
yeah.
things. So it's smart to do that anyway. Yeah, 100%.
For sure, man. I see, like, even in the process of like your watering, you're mentioning right now, based on just getting started and stretching the budget, which blows my mind with the budget you said you have this facility.
Right.
Killed it. Did very well
Too.
where you put the money. Of doing the hand watering system. So the plants look like a place that I'd see with the automated watering. The difference probably obviously be labor cost and time of doing that. Now, do you see a future of you switching up to something like a cocoa mix or doing hydro again? Or do you think you're going to stay with the soil and maybe hand water, or eventually do automation with the soil?
I mean, the future tells no tales because I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow most of the time. But I think that the plan would be, you know, like right now, as you've seen in our grow, we are mainly focused on growing large, full structured plants. You know what I mean? And what accommodates that is the 7-gallon pot and the room for root growth. You know what I mean? Within that pot and their strains. Now, to save time and be more efficient, yeah, we might go to like a 5-gallon or down to a 2.5-gallon with the automatic feeding that we're doing when we get that implemented. But for right now, hand watering is what we love because coming from the caregiver model, it was nice to put your hand and see every single plant. While you're in there watering that plant, you can look up, notice any imperfections, any problems before they even happen. If you're not in there and you're just, what happens with automation, it seems to be across the board, is you walk into the room, you see, oh, they look okay, but you don't go to the back of the room to see that one plant in the middle that nobody noticed that's been dead for 2 weeks because the ports got clogged and it's not getting any water. You know what I mean? That's one thing I'm gonna miss about the hand watering. But you got to get with the times and you got to cut down costs as well. So we're definitely looking to get into that automation phase where we can minimize costs and take the human error out of everything, where mixing ratios might be done wrong because somebody be like, did I put in that? I think I did, but maybe I'll just add a little more just in case. You know what I mean?
No, but I think, thinking about the future and stuff, it's hard when you're in a place where there are restrictions, when you do have limitations, or when things could open up where you have less restrictions down the road. So with the medical and recreational side, I think where you're at right now, I'm seeing it's across the board. It's like pretty common where people are like limited to growth, where it's like we either have to spend millions of dollars to expand or we have to have laws changed. So it's like where you're at right now, it could literally just scale the size. You're go from the scaled caregiver to scaling the, I wouldn't say micro grow, but the non-huge corporation grow.
Yeah.
So it's like you get this process down now, and you get the team down now, where it's just growing from here. You find your cultivars, the strains that you like, you get the processes down, eventually doing the extracts and stuff you're talking about. But it's like, it seems like you guys really have things figured out here in terms of the process. Everything's very organized. I love the custom signs. The team seems like authentically chipper, and every place we go to, seemingly, if you work for any sort of cannabis related place, you're a little happy.
You're going to work today.
Yeah,
but even he was just saying, like, in the same sense, I was gonna touch on you saying getting the human air out of watering, but I always appreciate like the human touch. It's the other side of that coin, right?
For sure.
Is like, you can't do this without some sort of human touch. You can't, any sort of farming, any sort of situation where you're dealing with a living thing, even a non-living thing, you need that human touch to be able to know that it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I think that's important, and you do have probably one of the larger teams that we've been on a tour for, but like, you need it with the size that you are, but even at the scale that you are, and it's the organization that you have that's very, SOP and, however you want to put that, where you might see it in a more commercial setting, there's a relative feeling here, and that's, I think, really you, Matt, to be honest, because you come from that caregiver. I could tell too, because my brother's very bad about letting other people like touch his plants, so I can tell that was a process for you.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, no, don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, so I could tell, but you've grown personally. It's probably been an expansion not only for like this, but for yourself too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I have a hard time letting things go. Let's be honest. I am very attached. I am very controlling. I guess let's be real with the wording. You know what I mean? I like to control every attribute of the step of the process. And yes, for me, it was a huge learning curve to be able to trust my team, to trust the people that are here doing the jobs every day, and take a step back and appreciate that I can take a vacation and step away from this place and know that my team's got my back. And like I said, when we started in November last year, we had 12 people plus me and Bridger, so it's 14 people. We've now grown to 40 employees, and we have a great culture here. Honestly, like, you didn't get to meet all the people, but they are fun, they're energetic, they love their job, and they love working for us. And I wouldn't say that it's just cannabis. I honestly feel like there are bad companies in cannabis that don't make the workplace fun. We are all about trying to be fun, energetic, building them up and training them to be successful as well. Regardless if they work for me or if they go work for anybody else, we want the best for everybody here that works here. I mean, and our company states that in what we do for our employees every week, you know, and every month, just by giving out, paying for 50% of all of our benefits for all of our employees, you know, paying them a living wage that's actually affordable so they can afford to live nicely. And then also, you know, free weed and helping them out with that as well, which they love. Every Friday we give out pre-rolls or whatever we have coming up, and they sample it and survey it and give us R&D back. So there are.
I said the first time I came here, I was like, man, I want to work here.
Yeah,
like, and I didn't even make it to the grow yet. Like,
Right.
it was just the vibe. You know what I mean? And that's huge. That's huge here on our channel. Like, just in our company mantra, really, it's like you gotta be ethical. You gotta have a good vibe. Otherwise, it's kind of not even kind of. It's fuck you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's not gonna work. Yeah, that's the key
So-
thing, man. And I think that's where you can tell the difference between the corporate. We gotta remove Chads and Brads, which people get when I say it, because I've got friends named Chad and friends named Brad. So the people who are just in here, the rich kids type of things, who are just coming in with money and like, it's an industry to make money. Or, you know, the corporate suit guys who come in and they don't give a shit about this industry. They don't care about the plant. They just want to make money.
Well, it's
You can
capital
really
over
see the
cannabis
difference.
a lot
Yeah.
of the time.
You can see the difference in a grow like this. You're like, there's truly passion here. The employees truly give a shit. I love that you really give like leadership to the employees. You give them a responsibility by saying, hey, here's your room.
Right.
You take care of this room, and that levels them up as an individual, man. I really think growing, period, will grow you as a person.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
as it's your job and it's your business and the responsibility of it, like this person may be messy at home, all of a sudden now it's going to be clean because of their job is kind of trained them to think this way and then to act this way. It's amazing how that can work, and kudos to you doing that, man, because it is a life-changing experience when you give somebody that role and put them into that thing where they have responsibility. So where
Say
can
that
people
to
find your
friends.
products then?
So Boco's are the botanical companies is our actual dispensaries. We have 3 of them, one in Tawas, one here in Lansing, and one in Kalkaska, Michigan. Do you want to get that? And then,
I'm the window.
and then also we have, we're in a ton of different dispensaries. You can go to franklinfields.com and you can find all of our store locator on there. It shows every single store we're in. Main stores, you know, we're in, I think, almost 50 different stores across Michigan.
Holy
So
shit.
we definitely have tried it.
Underneath Franklin Fields and other stores, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
look for that brand and you'll be able to find it.
So a lot of the companies we deal with, we've been dealing with since day one. Like, we're not here to burn bridges. We're not here to get in and get fast money and get out. We're here to provide a quality product. You know, I know the biggest talk, and I hate to keep talking about this, but it's the MCMA and what they're doing. And you know, people can think that maybe not having our products in the stores is a good thing, but how we see it as, I want to get good products in front of people, regardless of who they are as the owners. If they have terrible products in their stores, that's okay, but we're going to bring another level of product to those end consumers, because a lot of these end consumers are very uneducated, as we know, on what a good product is, and do they even know who the MCMA is? Most of this time, they don't. You know
Are
what I
people
mean?
mad that you have your product in dispensaries that support the MCMA? Because normally it's like the growers that they're mad at the commercial
Well,
growers. Everybody's mad at everybody.
Yeah.
Mad at Sensi.
Like, it's like,
very
it's not.
ignorant.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting put on any blame, but I would just like everybody to know, I mean, if there's ever a blame game, that's who we are. I mean, we're here for the end consumer. That's what we got into this for. I started caregiving to help patients, you know, to help a friend that had multiple sclerosis and needed RSO. I was donating most of my product and all my trim to him for that process. So that's what I got into this for. That's what our company's based on, you know what I mean? We want to help the end user. We want to be able to provide a quality product to that end user. So that's our mission, that's our idea, that's our goals, you know? And that's why I said we put so much care into these plants. And we're not in this for just the fast money, build it up, sell it out, and be done with it. We're in this to be here for a while and be, you know, one of the leaders in Michigan as a top, you know, grower and sales dispensaries, you know what I mean? So we're just a small, and we're family owned, operated. I mean, Russ Chambers, the owner and CEO, this is all family money. This is not outside companies from MSOs out of state. We're all locally made money here in Michigan that has been able to fund us this beautiful place that we grow in, you know what I mean? So big props, big props to him, because without him, this dream would never be a reality for me. So you need people like that in your life, and he's been a great helper for me to grow as a person and being able to grow great plants. You know what I mean? So
100%.
so
No, we appreciate it, man. We're excited to see what you guys do next.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely come for a follow-up, and then stay tuned for a follow-up Dank Teaser booth on some shit that I think we like. So far, just from the looks, it's already leaning way fucking high. Like in smell, the terps, oh man. Yes, I'm excited.
yeah, we'd like a dank. You know what I mean?
Dude, so would we. We have tried. We've gone everywhere. So yeah, man, appreciate you, and we'll definitely link up and come back out here, man. Man, on point. Everything is on point. Trust me when I recommend. They got the stamp of approval for Dank. The only one I still don't like, it's just me maybe, I don't know. I still don't like the papaya punch. Just me. No offense, guys. It's not the one. But everything else, whew, yes, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Where do you guys want to see us go next? Somewhere in Michigan or in the Midwest, preferably. Travel is not my favorite thing. I don't love airplanes, but I do love to be able to check out quality places. So let's see what happens. Make sure you let us know. Drop it in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, like, share it with your motherfucking gromies. And as always, y'all, stay lifted.